Let's turn our attention to what's happening in Orange County. James Ware visiting a historical landmark this morning, the Orange Train Depot. And you know what? It's interesting, James. I'm like a lot of people. I pass by there all the time and think, I wish I knew the history of this building. I wish I knew more about it because it's so cool.
That's exactly right. I've been, growing up in the 70s as a kid. That's all. This is all I've known it as. Is really the train depot that sits here in Orange. What a beautiful landmark. But the ball is finally rolling, and there's plans for it. So that's what we're here to talk about today. And Michael Hoke is one of those. We're going to have about 3 guests joining us throughout the morning to talk about the train depot. But first off, just a little history of the building.
If you go back to about between 1914 and 1970, some debate. This was the transportation hub for this city. In fact, if you think about World War I being here, World War II, it was a major hub in World War II for people coming in. And, it was the center of the town, basically. People would come in here, they would drop off people, they would pick up stuff. It was the center of commerce. Yeah. And then about 1960, the train stopped dropping off people, and then by 1970, it stopped dropping off freight, and it just sat here. It became somewhat of a office building for an engineering firm, and then eventually it just was somewhat abandoned. And today, luckily, Kerry Oliver and Ron Walliver came through, and they saw it. They said, this is the introduction to the historical part of Orange, and we need to do something.
And she's actually written a book from diaries her mother kept of this place.
Yeah, that's the wonderful part. She had, and remarkably, the picture of the train station is on the cover of the book. So, it became kind of a focus of hers, and she's gotten a lot of people together. And now what we're asking the people of Orange to do is, let's get behind this project, help us raise money, and help us basically renovate this beautiful building so that when people come to Orange, they're welcomed by a beautiful building as they come down to the historic section.
Sure. And what will it be used as? Well,
it'll be multi-use. There'll be probably a gift shop. There'll be meeting rooms. Those type of things can be determined as we go along. But, the main thing we're trying to do is turn this building back into a beautiful representative of the history of Orange.
And the group is called Friends of Orange Depot.
Friends of Orange Depot. We have a web page. It's orangetexasdepot.org, and they can go on it. They can look and find out about what we're trying to do, and even find out about maybe contributing if they'd like.
Yeah. Now, you've had engineers come in. It's pretty rough looking in some parts on the outside, but the main thing is it's structurally sound.
Yeah. Well, what our architect says is it has good bones. And, that's a very important part of it. And if you look at it historically speaking, it has a lot of the architectural things that make this something that people will want to see and want to enjoy.
Sure. As far as what's going to take place here, it'll be an event center for, I guess, receptions, things like that?
Correct. It'll be multi-use. It'll have an area that you can have meetings in, an area that you could have a reception in. I mean, if you look back here, a nice area out here where you could have a reception on these beautiful days. There will be a fence here that protects us from the train coming through, but it's going to be a modern building as far as the structure and the usage is, but still having all the antique things that we'd like to have in a train depot.
Sure, and of course Justin was showing a lot of the architecture features, but overall about $600,000 is the goal y'all set to what it's going to take to restore.
And that's a really, really, really good figure for this particular thing, and the one reason it's not higher than that is it does have the structure, what they said, as I said, the good bones. It does have the ability to basically not tear it down and start all over. They're able to take what they have here and rebuild it.
There you go, the Orange Train Depot, a landmark here in Orange County.
And James, the last train stopped at the depot when?
Yeah, passengers, he says, in the 60s, but the freight trains were still coming in through what, early 70s?
Early 70s, it stopped dropping off freight here.
Okay, all right.